11-year-old Faith Korvacs plays Ouija's Ouija board with her brother Larry. When she asks a question about her future husband, the board reveals the name Damon Bradley. Sometime later, Faith encounters the name again when a gypsy fortune teller at the fair confirms that her soulmate will bear the same name, Damon Bradley. This finally convinces Faith that the name of her true love is predestined. 14 years pass. Faith works as a schoolteacher in a Catholic school. She is engaged to an orthopedic surgeon named Dwayne. 10 days before the wedding, a classmate of her fiancé calls her to offer congratulations. He mentions that his name is Damon Bradley and that he is now leaving for the airport to fly to Venice. Faith takes this as a sign of fate. She immediately decides to find this man. Together with her friend and sister-in-law Kate, who is having marital problems and wants a change of scenery, Faith heads to the airport. They don't catch their flight, but decide to take the next flight to Venice to try and find Damon Bradley. Arriving in Venice, they begin their search, asking people, visiting hotels and restaurants. However, no one they meet knows a man by that name. Search continues, but all in vain. They find no trace of Damon in Venice and decide to go further, first to Florence and then to Rome. There, in one of the restaurants, Faith encounters a man who introduces himself as Damon Bradley. Faith begins to spend time with this man. He courts her, accompanies her around the city, walks with her, invites her to romantic places. A close bond develops between them. However, he soon confesses that his name is actually Peter Wright. He lied about the name because he wanted to continue the communication. After learning the truth, Faith decides to break up with him and go home. Meanwhile, Kate meets Giovanni, an Italian businessman who starts courting her. He invites them both to stay at a luxurious hotel and agrees to help in the further search. Peter, not giving up, searches all night for information about the real Damon Bradley and discovers that he has traveled to Positano. Giovanni offers to drive all three of them to Positano in his car. They arrive at an expensive hotel. Faith checks in and soon meets a man who introduces himself as Damon Bradley. He gives the impression of a wealthy and confident playboy. She invites him to dinner. Peter watches from the sidelines. During the dinner, it becomes clear that this Damon Bradley is not who he says he is. He is an actor, a friend of Peter's, who has agreed to take part in the prank so that Faith can let go of her obsession with the fateful name. After the exposure, Faith and Kate decide to return to the U.S. Peter also prepares to leave. Meanwhile, Larry, Faith's brother and Kate's husband, learns that his wife is in Italy and goes there. He finds Kate in Positano. A reconciliation takes place between them. Larry confesses that years ago, as a child, he moved the pointer on the Ouija board himself, writing the name Damon Bradley in as a joke. He also paid a fortune teller at the fair to confirm the name. He didn't tell this earlier because he was afraid Faith would take offense and stop talking to him. After these events, Faith and Peter find themselves at the airport. They are about to fly to different cities, Peter to Boston, Faith home. Suddenly, an announcement is made over the loudspeaker that a certain Damon Bradley is to come to the information desk. Faith and Peter immediately head there and finally meet the real Damon Bradley, an unflappable, unremarkable man. Peter explains the situation to him, how Faith sought him out because of her childish belief in fate and how Peter himself fell in love with her. Peter says goodbye to Faith and leaves for the landing. Faith, remaining where she is, rethinks everything that has happened. In that moment, she realizes that she wants to be with Peter. She rushes to the boarding area. The airport staff stops the plane and Faith manages to get on board. Peter and Faith are reunited. The passengers and crew applaud.